Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this reading, I'm using the Greer tarot. And I've got a couple fans going, so I hope that they're not too loud. I hope that they won't, ruin the video. It's really hot here right now, and I had to close my window because my neighbor is running his saw. And so I've just got a couple fans on, so I'm hoping that it's not too loud. Okay, so we've got 3 cards here, and I set the intention as I laid out the cards that each card was going to represent a different portion of the upcoming week. So for the first card we've got, and this card represents Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week. And we've got the Star, one of my favorite cards. And the Star, the overwhelming theme and message I get from the Star is to have hope and to let go as you enter the week. So this is about having trust and having faith that things will work out in the way that they need to. They may not work out in the way that you want them to or the way that you're planning, but they're going to work out in the way that you need them to. So this is about really letting go of the need to control or the need to predict or even the need to know how something is going to work out. And I feel like so many of us feel like if only we knew what we were supposed to do, or if only we knew how something was going to turn out, then things would be so much easier. And this is about letting go of that desire, or not necessarily letting go of the desire, recognizing that you might have this need to know, but then letting go of it. So not letting it, totally control your life and everything that you do. And don't let it stop you from being at peace. So if you look at this card, and you'll notice that the figure in the card, for one, she's naked, which can represent vulnerability. It can also represent being free, being relaxed. And I mean, she doesn't look vulnerable, even though she's naked and, she's squatting down by this river. She doesn't look vulnerable to me. She looks at ease. So here's someone who doesn't really have any clothes on her back, doesn't have any shoes. She's just holding these 2 jugs. She's very at ease, and she's pouring both jugs out. So she's like dumping out what she has into this pond or this river. And that act of dumping the water out is that kind of symbolic, representation of letting go. And she's dumping out the water because she must know that there's better water elsewhere, or there's more water where that came from. She doesn't have to hoard or save this water, which is ironic because right now lots of places are experiencing drought where you definitely don't want to be wasting water. Another thing that I'm getting from this card, which I think I maybe already mentioned at the beginning, but this is about having trust and having faith that everything is going to work out. So if you're feeling uneasy about things right now, if you're feeling like a lot is up in the air, or if you're just feeling frustrated that things aren't going your way, or even if you're feeling nervous about some big thing that's going to be happening this week, think about this card and think about the calm energy that she exudes. This calmness, this absolute peace and tranquility and trust that everything is going to work out and that you don't need to stress out about it. So doing what you need to do in order to manage any stress or excitement or anxiety that you have about the week ahead. So doing what works for you. Sometimes journaling, sometimes writing things down, sometimes meditation. Everyone's different in what works for them. But what works for me actually is keeping this card by my bed in times of stress, because then when I wake up, she's right there, and I look at her and I remember, oh yeah, like I don't have to be stressed out. I can be like the Star. Okay, so moving on to the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday. Here we have the 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles is about doing meaningful work and working towards something that has special meaning and power for you. So there's a few ways I could interpret this card. I just need a second to tune into this card. I feel like ultimately you're going to be working on some kind of a project or some kind of a job that has meaning for you in the bigger picture of your life. So, throughout our lives, I think we do things that, everything has meaning, I suppose, and everything leads to something else. But there's certain things that we do that feel maybe more meaningful or more powerful in shaping who we are and helping us use, the gifts and the talents that we came here to use. So I feel like ultimately this card is about really tapping into what your unique gifts are, or I should say gifts sounds funny, your unique talents and your unique skills, which of course as you get older you're always going to be building on those skills and developing new skills, so it's going to change from time to time, but everyone kind of has some core skills and things that they're really, really good at and that they're kind of born to do. So this is about developing those skills and using them to create meaningful work for yourself, whether it's paid employment, whether you're starting your own business, or whether you're just working on some kind of a project. But I feel like that's what this card is about, and I'm gonna talk about how it fits into the rest of the week after we take a look at the last card. So the last card is the card for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we've got Seven of Cups. And Seven of Cups is, it's a card to me that kind of symbolizes confusion, where we're not really sure what we want. We might feel like there's a lot of options and we don't know what choice to make. We might feel lost in daydreaming, so maybe a lot of time, you might notice that you're wasting a lot of time kind of daydreaming about the possibilities, but not really taking action towards creating what you want or going in the direction that you want to go in. And so that is showing strong for this weekend. So you might notice that by the end of the week, you don't have a clear direction and you're things are up in the air and you're in that funny place of not really knowing what path to take. And you might be expending a little too much energy in that kind of limbo zone where you're not sure what direction to go in, which can feel kind of funny, but know that this is temporary. So I just want to zoom out and have a look at all three cards, because this is just such a weird mix of cards for some reason. We've got the Star, which is this really powerful presence telling you to just chill out, relax, everything's working, in the way that it needs to. And once you do that, you'll be almost sort of guided as to what you need to do action-wise to move yourself forward and to create experiences that have like a deep, soul fulfilling kind of feeling. So doing things that really fulfill you on a very deep level, which is all about the Three of Pentacles. And then for some reason something happens midweek perhaps that kind of maybe gets you sort of questioning things like, is this really the direction that I need to go in? What am I making the right decisions? Should I be doing this? Kind of that grass is always greener on the other side syndrome. So just being aware that might come up for you this week. And sometimes that comes up because you need to take a little time to maybe just contemplate and think things through and get really centered and grounded before you move forward and before you take action. So I hope you found this reading helpful. I hope it's given you some ideas. Once again, my name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and thank you so much for watching this reading, and I hope you have a wonderful week.